Bill Gates said that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, but they underestimate what they could accomplish in a decade. That same principle applies to the daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Most people overestimate or over try to accomplish more in a single day, and that stops them from accomplishing a lot of things over like a week, month, or year. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why you should try to be accomplishing way less on a daily basis. So many people have like 10 items on their to-do list every single day, and that ultimately ends up being to their detriment. Let me give a very simple, practical example. Right now, I am actually training to run a 100-mile ultramarathon. I'm just getting back into shape of running. And so today, I went to the treadmill at the gym, and I did an amazing workout. I pushed myself hard on that treadmill. I ran for like 25 minutes at a very fast speed and was done. I then stretched, recovered. I used my massage gun. It was amazing. And that was this morning. And it was awesome. I walked away. But then like afternoon came and I was like, maybe I should squeeze in another run. And I thought to myself, no, if I'm trying to squeeze in too much in 24 hours, then that's going to ultimately potentially lead to injury. It's going to stop me from recovering. If I just recover and then go back and have a better, more focused, more deliberate workout tomorrow, then tomorrow's workout's going to be better than if I worked out again today and then went to the gym. And so the point is that you want to actually have focused, deliberate practice. In psychology, it's called deliberate practice. This is how you become an expert at anything, is you've got to actually have targeted, specific goals, and your training takes you way outside your comfort zone. It pushes you, but then you have to actively recover. You've got to actively recover. And if you don't do this, then you're going to be spread too thin. There's two types of economies, as Dan Sullivan, the founder of Strategic Coach, says. There's a results economy and there's a time and effort economy. The time and effort economy are people who pride themselves on how much time it takes or how busy they are or how hard they're working, whereas the results economy just is focused on getting the result in the most effective way possible. One of the best concepts I've ever heard is from Tim Ferriss. He calls it the minimum effective dose. The idea is that there's always a dosage in order to produce the result. For example, to boil water, the dose is 212 degrees. Anything above 212 degrees is wasteful. Once you hit 212 degrees, the water boils. You don't need anything more than that. But a lot of people, they'll like go up to 250 degrees. They'll do all these different things to produce a result when it's like, no, what is the minimum effective dose? What is the most simple, most effective thing to produce a desired result? You need to get results oriented because that allows you to apply the 80-20 rule, which is what are the few things you're doing that ultimately produce the biggest result? And so here's another reason why you want to actually focus on less on a daily basis, but ultimately more high quality results. If you're trying to do 5 to 10 different things in a day, ultimately you're focused on quantity, not quality. And if you're focused on quantity over quality, then you're doing a lot of things, but you're ultimately doing it with a low level of standard. If you're focused on quality, on the other hand, then you do a few things, very focused, very precision, very smart, that ultimately allows you to make rapid progress. You do it deliberately. You're going out of your comfort zone. It's like doing a workout. You know, if you work out for 15, 20 minutes, but it was an insane workout, then if you actively recover, while you're recovering, your subconscious is processing how good that workout was. That then becomes your new baseline. You're training yourself to have new baselines. I remember when I was writing blog posts back in the day. For a long time, I was the #1 writer in the world on medium.com. And I remember learning and training myself to get into a deep flow state, write an amazing article and push publish. And I knew the articles would go viral before I even hit publish because of how it felt while I was writing it. I was just like, there's no way this isn't going to go viral. And they often did. And I trained myself to feel at that level. High performance just became a norm because when you step away and you allow yourself to psychologically detach. Psychological detachment is such a key concept. What it means is that you want to totally recover from work. You want to hit it hard and then fully turn off. And while you're fully turned off, whether you're just playing with your kids, doing some other activity, watching a movie, and this could be with anything. It could be with work, with working out, whatever it is. You want to be fully recovering, but while you're recovering, while you're away, your subconscious is actually processing the very last thing you did. So Josh Waitzkin, the guy who wrote The Art of Learning, and this is one of the best books on high performance, he talks about how he interviewed a guy named Billy Kidd once. Billy Kidd was an Olympic skier, and Billy Kidd explained to Josh what the 3 most important turns are on a ski run. A lot of people think it might be the first 3, like when you get off the chairlift and your first 3 turns set the tone for the full run. That's not true. It's actually the last 3 turns, because most people, their last 3 turns are kind of sloppy as they're getting ready to get onto the chairlift and go back up for the next run. The last 3 turns ultimately set the tone, because once you get onto the chairlift, you're now going up, and for the next 10 minutes, your subconscious is processing the last 3 things you did, and that sets the tone for your next run. And so whatever you do, it's setting the tone subconsciously for your baseline for how you do things. This is why you want to do things at a quality high level versus a quantity low level. You need to recover and psychologically detach so that during your next workout or during your next workday, you're primed to go deeper, harder, and better so that you ultimately get better and better at that thing, pushing for better results rather than just being busy. So my invitation to you is, as Jim Collins would say, if you have more than 3 priorities, you've got none. Have no more than 3 things on your daily to-do list. Knock out the most important things at a quality level, then turn yourself off and recover. Don't try to overly do too much. Again, as Bill Gates said, people overestimate what they can do in a short amount of time, and they underestimate how much they can do in a long amount of time. One of the reasons for that is because they're so impulsive, and ultimately they don't have a long-term vision. If you have a long-term vision, you're fine doing things in a smart, intelligent way. You're fine taking the long game, but if you're impulsive, if you don't have confidence, the more confidence you have, the longer version or the longer vision you will have. If you have a longer-term vision, you're willing to just take the right steps today, recover, and get back at it tomorrow and take the right steps, and ultimately you know that the compound effect is going to speed you through. And you're making quality a way of life, and you're also going deep in your deliberate practice so that when you hit it, you're hitting it hard. You're going way out of your comfort zone every time you do it, but you're recovering so that you've got enough to give to it. But if you're impulsive, you're going to try to squeeze a bunch of things in today, but ultimately then set yourself up for failure tomorrow. And that's ultimately going to cause you to have less long-term success because you're constantly going up and down. You're constantly going back and forth. You're having so many inconsistent days. Again, less but better. That's the essentialist way. Do less things, focus on results, not process. Focus on the results and ultimately then reverse engineer the right process. Minimum effective dose. What are the few things that if you do it correctly and wisely, it's going to create exponential results and take lots of time for active recovery. Do not try to do too much in a single day. Do the few right things, recover, let your subconscious ride it. Just like being on the chairlift. While you're recovering, your brain is reprocessing the last thing you did, and you're making high performance and flow your way of being. While you're recovering, actually, you're going to be in a way more flow state with your loved ones, with whatever form of recovery you're doing. You're going to be present. You're not going to be distracted. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you go super deep while you're working, you can go super off while you're recovering. You can fully recover. You'll sleep better. You'll have less anxiety. You won't be needing to be in a million different directions. That's called decision fatigue. That's called not knowing what you want. Just define the few things you want. Don't compare yourself to anyone else, and go deep on that, and then recover and set yourself up so that tomorrow you can go even further. Recover, tomorrow you can go even further, rather than being impulsive today and then ultimately giving up before you get anywhere. Hope that helps. I'm Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Down below is access to my free 30-day Future Self course, and then right up here on the screen, a few of my other YouTube videos will pop up to help you become your future self. Have an amazing day.